Yeah. So this is another episode of Everybody Hates Black Men, and I could have did a formal video, and I might do a formal video. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons because she actually did a 6 minute video. Anything you really need to know about the situation with the 12-year-old little boy is it's all you need to know. That's it. And I'm gonna tell you something. Remember what I told you all. Let y'all come in here. I went into foster care for a year on my 13th birthday. So meaning, that can really hit home. But I'm gonna say some stuff that's very unpopular. I'm gonna say some stuff, most of which y'all agree with, but some people might not agree with. I just want to let you know this video will be staying up for a while. I don't really take my videos down. I just give y'all notice that I might. I want to let y'all know right now before I start talking. Everything I say, I mean what the fuck I say. I do not give a fuck about how you feel about it. If you want to find the nearest building and jump off of it face first because you so in your feelings, I invite you to do so. And this is not just for black women. This is for black men too. Because I may say some shit y'all don't like either. I don't care. I mean what I say. I'm in a very sound mind when I'm saying what I am saying. And your feelings, you are perfectly happy to dislike the video. You are perfectly happy to back out of the video. You are perfectly happy to do whatever the fuck you need to do. But just don't expect me to give a fuck. So anybody that leaves any comments that are not constructive, that you all are losing your fucking minds because you're upset, just know I don't give a fuck. Put whatever paragraphs you need to put, and those will be removed in an instant. As soon as I get the whiff that this is some shit that motherfuckers are just triggered, it will be removed as if it never existed. I'm saying that right. Shout out to Love Dorsey for the the disclaimers. I'm saying that right now on this issue. And if you're somebody that you're emotionally weak, that the truth hurts you, that you need to be told a story to feel good, and you're new and you haven't heard me talk before, I'm kind of telling you now, this is like cigarettes. You might want to not listen. You might want to, and shout out to Pink Book. I think Pink Book Lessons has a good, she has a good 5 minute clip. If you just want to hear, because you don't want to really hear nobody rant, you just want to hear like what happened, a little bit of synopsis and a really quick bite. Shout out to Pink Book. She's got a good video, and her videos are like 10,000 views. And yes, she does say what it is, and she keeps it 100 in 5 minutes. So with that being said, I'm about to give my opinion on it. Some of y'all know this. Y'all have been kind of bugging me about it, or at least putting in the notes. This is really something that I would probably stay away from. So we're gonna so let me set the record straight real quick. I help take care of my aunt that has mental illness. And for the most part, she's in the institution more than she's not in the institution. I help my mom do that. Okay. And she has a daughter that ain't shit, that I've never liked. That I've always, that literally, she's older than me. These people where you just knew she was going to be one of them, like from a very, very early age. Yeah, she was one of those. And we're not even going to make this about her, but to be fair, her mom is her mom. And it is what it is. And when you talk about things like this, you have to be very careful, because you have certain groups that are going to want to quote unquote protect certain things. Folks are going to want to play it's not a mental illness issue, which don't worry, I'm not going to jump on mental illness, because like I said, I understand that, and quite frankly, I think that's a fucking cop-out. I know that's a cop-out. I believe that's a cop-out. So we're not even going to go there. I'm not going to completely drill, black women on this. However, I do believe that black females will do what they typically do, and outside of the real ones, they're going to stay away from this topic. They're just not going to talk about it. They're not going to talk about it because they got to admit to certain things that they don't want to. And let's make it an easy one that they don't want to admit to. they got to admit to that the fact that a lot of them are cracking under the pressure. It may not be them personally, but they see women that are cracking under the pressure. And these children are going to be the main ones fucked up in this game. One of the things that I have not talked about, and I can say this to somebody that doesn't have kids, one of the things I haven't talked about is when I tell you niggas do not deal with women because they're going to go on some really, really Grand Theft Auto shit, y'all have a choice to not deal with them. Kids don't. Kids don't. My mom has anger management issues, but my mom would never do nothing crazy like that. And trust me, I done got hit by a stitching cord, but that's like the furthest she'd ever do it. And my mom was just slick with her tongue mainly. But my mom had anger management issues, but obviously it's not no mental shit. But when you put pressure on these females, a lot of these women crack. Luckily, my mom was the type of person to not crack under that type of shit. But a lot of these women are not built. My mom is 60. These women are not built like they used to be no more. These women are not built like that no more. They're not. And I'm not trying to take this situation and apply it to other women, because let's be clear, all these women are not killing their kids, at least after they're born. But the thing about it is, there's a lot of motherfuckers going through Precious situations, Antoine Fisher situations. They may not die, but they're irreparably fucked up. And that's what doesn't get said. So, I'm not going to jump on the usual suspects. I'm actually going to start with the father. I'm going to start with the father. It's going to be fucked up what I'm going to say. Keep in mind I don't have kids. Fuck you, I don't give a fuck. I understand his son died, but somebody should slap the shit out of him. Somebody should slap the living dog shit out of him. I'm going to tell you why. And I should have clipped. If I wouldn't have did a live right now, I would have clipped it so you could hear what he said. That dumbass motherfucker had the nerve to say that the woman did not only put a bullet in his son. No, that wasn't good enough. What we gotta do is we gotta pop that motherfucker so he can fucking feel that bullet. He can feel that bullet, and then pop his ass again to take him out. And I'm saying it that way because you need to understand what happened. It wasn't he got shot in the head. He got shot. This is a 12-year-old getting shot point blank. Right? And the first bullet, and there's audio. There's audio. So she didn't just shoot him once and then, it was a quick death. As horrific as that is, she actually shot him. And this kid, this little boy, this little black boy, felt what a bullet is for quite a bit of time. Not no belt, not no extension cord, a bullet. And then, from point blank range, not what motherfuckers was shooting in and shit just hit you because it bounced off a wall. No, point blank range. Then, that's when she decided, after she wanted to trip out a memory card, which, come on, she decided to pop him in the head and kill him. I want y'all to let that sink in. Because the way they make it sound like it's just, she just put a bullet in his head and that was the end. No. And that happened, and the dad, knowing this information, said she was a great mom. Now remember, I said a long time ago, I asked the question, what do black women need to do to not be forgiven? I would like to shout out to Frank, because Frank was a good sport about coming in the comments and acknowledging what I said, standing on what he said, but being nice about it. But I would ask Frank. So, Frank, you gonna forgive her? Now that we actually got a tangible example? Let's say that's your grandson. Let's say she did what she did. You gonna forgive her? Because it was seen as nutty that when we said, what if your daughter kills your grandson, we were seen as being hyperbolic. We were seen as, oh, well, that shit never happens. You niggas hate black women. And this is Chicago. Make no mistake. This happens more often than you would think. Not saying it's an often thing, but that shit happens more often than you would think. And I'm very familiar with these threatening that on me all the time. Let me tell you. And guess what? They knew she had mental problems. Yet they still allowed her to be the custodial parent. For the family members that are that woman's family side of the family, you killed it. You killed him too. Because you knew she had mental illness and y'all didn't use DCFS to get the father of that son. You killed him. You killed him too. You're just as responsible in my opinion. You're just as responsible in my opinion. You're just as responsible. Because this ain't no, oh, well, we just don't mess with her no more because she crazy. No, y'all was actually still in her orbit. City of Chicago, you killed this little boy. I'm not even going to start using names. I'm not going to do all that because, I mean, what is there to really say? There's nothing I can say that's verbally that's worse. There's nothing I can say that should happen to this woman that's verbally worse. There's nothing I can really say that y'all probably haven't already thought about. And I have a pretty good imagination. So I'm not even going to sully the video by saying all that shit. But City of Chicago gave her a licensed firearm. A licensed firearm. Motherfucker, we are talking about one of the hardest places, states and cities in this motherfucking country. I would argue the planet to get a fucking legal firearm. She got a gun. She's got a city job. Supposedly making 6 figures. Mentally fucked up. I mean, this is a video. This shit. Honestly, the only person, in my opinion, that actually would be appropriate doing a video like this is David Carroll. This is what David Carroll's for. And if you actually follow David Carroll's rabbit hole, you can get, the links to where you can get the real videos. You see black women doing this to their daughters. Not killing them, but like crazy shit. And the thing that I look at is you see all of these mechanisms that just gave her a pass. And at the end of all of that, this nigga said, and I'm not trying to blame him, but that shit, honestly, that shit is probably the most, a black female popping her son. Honestly, that's not completely beyond the pale for me. That's really not something that it's a bad thing. Obviously, she should get the death penalty. If the death penalty doesn't exist, they need to make an exception. Fuck life. Fuck Chicago. Illinois ain't got the money to be putting no tax dollars up for taking care of somebody with 3 squares. Quite frankly, she should be shot with the firing squad. The same way that she shot her son. Honestly. That's simple. And honestly, that would be too good for her. That's simple. I don't give a damn about mental illness. I don't care if you can show she's mentally ill. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Because as far as I'm concerned, I dare somebody use mental illness when the city of Chicago thought she was mentally fit to be, I don't know if she was a bus driver or whatever, but she was mentally fit to work for the city of Chicago. As far as I'm concerned, nobody that makes more than $50,000, than really 40, but we'll say $50,000 a year can tell me they're mentally ill. I don't care if she was. I don't care. That shouldn't even be in the thing. But for his dad to say, to disrespect the memory of her son, saying she was a great mom, that shit should tell you how powerful the programming is. Really think about that. That's how powerful the indoctrination of this bullshit is. And that's not a young dude. That dude has got to be like probably 39, 44. I'm not saying he got to get out there and say the shit that I'm saying about the woman, but you said she was a great mom. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? No, fuck the gas chamber, the firing squad. But whatever, Illinois, I don't believe, and maybe I'm ignorant to this. I don't believe Illinois might have the. I think they have. I don't. I'm not sure if they have the death. Somebody go check to see if Illinois has the death penalty. Somebody go check and get back to me. Honestly, it's not disturbing. It's not disturbing. If you listen to Dr. Tia San Johnson, it's not disturbing. Like this shit may not happen in death, but this shit happens a like usually they just leaving their kids in hot cars and shit. But no, fuck that is this, because when you make something is disturbing, oh my god, I can't believe it happened, you actually low-key let people off the hook. Michael Vick supposedly dogfighting, because he wasn't there, is disturbing, quote unquote, but they found a way to take everything from him. Damn, that is disturbing. I can't believe it happened. I'm gonna be so emotionally out there that we're not gonna talk about it. No. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna say it. You know what that shit reminds me of? And I don't give a fuck if she hears it. That shit reminds me of Tasha K. Because when you look at Tasha K and you look at that video and you look at the type of rage and anger that was in her over some shit she knows she did, and on number two, over just somebody covering it for a black man. Motherfucker, y'all think that these black males gotta become adults before these women hate them? And she said that too. She said she did that because of she couldn't stand because of the father and the father not being with her. I can tell you till this day, my aunt is because my aunt's husband left her, and till this day she calls out to him. Till this day, we're talking about like 25 years. Till this day. And that whole family knew what they were dealing with. And I'm not saying they could have predicted she'd do this, but they damn sure knew that she shouldn't have had that kid. The state damn sure knew she shouldn't have had that kid. And what people will do, what cowards will do, is they will stay away from this shit. They will stay away from this shit. Because they know they can't, in their situation you just can't say nothing, they'll pretend it didn't happen. And they do it when these white men be fucking up these black women. They just pretend it didn't happen. That doesn't count. They don't enter that into it. Like point blank period. And even I was listening to David Caron, what he had to say about the Mercedes Moore situation with the father and the shit he talking about. This denialism that black men get into. Because there's one thing about saying, okay, I'm just not, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, so I'm not about to get on here and get on the red pill shit and start saying, doing what we do. I can understand a decision being made to do that for a variety of different reasons. I could understand you not necessarily saying nothing in person. But nobody is made. You don't have to say she's a great mom when she put two bullets in your son. That's not required. That's something you went out of your way to do. And that just tells me how mentally how retarded a lot of this shit, how far this goes. Mercedes Moore situation. Oh, she's a nice sweet girl. She's a nice sweet girl. Like you don't know what the fuck she doing. And I'm going to tell you, what do both of those situations have in common? Being in denial can get people killed. That level of denialism that black people both have, and this is both black women and black men, because we already know what the black women are on. We already know the black women go code up. We already know what time that is. I don't even need to say that. I'm going to leave that to other people. I'm going to leave that to Jap. I'm going to leave that to other people that's in there. I may even leave that to people that's in Chicago. Because I know this shit probably popping off in Chicago. But what I do want to point out is some of these points. That you can be mentally ill and have a firearm in Chicago And still, they still think the father's not good enough. So for women like Tay, they like to play stuck on stupid all the goddamn time. I wonder if the Lapeef show is even gonna have this talk. I bet you they won't talk about this. This is the bullshit. All that super. This is the bullshit. And people will try to make this seem like this is a one-off. Well, they say that about every white school shooting, right? Every time a white boy decides to blow away students, all that's a one-off. We as black people, we do copy white people in certain very negative ways. The problem is motherfuckers just want to act like black men are just copying we're parroting white men. When the actuality, a lot of the shit that these white boys get, they get it from us. They actually bite off of us a hell of a lot more than we bite off of them. So I'm not gonna make this a forever video. I just wanted to give you all my thoughts because I know you wanted it. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. What's up, Young Breezy? Bandit, Katie Rage, Tiger, Young Peasy, Primetime, and I'll share Pink Book's video. Things like this happen in our community. It does happen often. It just doesn't get talked about. Or you rarely hear it because they say they got video of her killing him, putting the final bullet in, and they got audio of her putting the first one in. And I already know what people are gonna do. Now this is a hot topic. So people are gonna not be able to not talk about it because it's gonna be very glaringly obvious for a lot of the typical females to not talk about shit. The typical females always got something to say about black men. You can't say there's no views in this. So why are you being conveniently absent? Shout out to Nair's Black and admit to black female privilege in the black community that fosters the environment for this. Absolutely. Archer ain't shit. Well, the truth is the culture protecting women from their feelings. Yep. Truth has created a generation of very mentally. You absolutely right. The women that talk about being the most strength are the ones that are most likely to crack. They're already talking about they can talk about mental illness all they want to. They can talk about mental illness all they want to. But the argument you have to make is a judge decided she should be in custody. That's number one. Number two, her family knew she had mental problems. And yeah, they supposedly did what they could, but no, they didn't. Because they could have been witnesses to get that kid from up under her. And that's happened before. That's number two. Number three, she worked for the state. You don't get, bullshit. So everybody's got to explain, if she's got mental problems, how did this happen? How did all those three things decide that it was cool? Nair's Black, wow, he tried to get custody. I don't know if he tried to get custody. And if he didn't try to get custody, knowing what she was on, because nigga, you don't just get mentally ill like that. You put your dick in a crazy bitch and got a kid and didn't get your kid. But obviously, because the black mother can't be questioned, this is what it is. So my thing about this video is, what do black women got to do to not be forgiven? Because you listen to motherfuckers like Tasha K and the type of hatred and venom, and shout out to Lowcast's video, because if y'all looked at that, y'all see it. This type of deep-seated hatred that especially when you understand that black women be the main ones like dissing black men when it comes to sexual attraction and shit. This shit. Absolutely, Black excellent. Those women are the only one talking about I brought you into this world, I'll take you out of it. Affirmative action job there is Black. CJN fear happened to the boy. Tasha K was looking like Rondo. She was kind of. It's Afro Shop is disturbing. The dad said with the straight face, she's a good mom. Absolutely. And that's the programming. That's kind of the biggest thing I really want to highlight out of all of this. Because shit, I'm not saying, because this is not me blaming him, but that a level of delusion that men have, that blind spot that men have for women, for black women, that's fucking up your kids. There's people that pay prices for that shit. So this is why when these niggas talk about protection, because some people like said I was maybe too hard on J Speed, I was too hard on. No, I wasn't. Because that bullshit leads to that shit. Because the truth is, y'all wanting to save women shows that there is nothing a woman can really do that makes it so she can't be unsavable. And I'm not gonna sit there and say all black women. That's not me saying that. But what I will pay attention to is black women content creators that decide to not talk about this. Cause you know they not. You know they not. It's gonna be some of them. They go stay away from this shit. Because what can you say? And we can talk about black women being on code. Well, shit, how can you say anything about black women when you got a dude that's the father of the son, the little boy that would say that shit? Think about that. And it's not about blaming men to let women off the hook. It's about saying, look, man, if y'all want to do something with these women, these niggas are a problem. Just like black women are a problem if you want to do something when it comes to competing against non-black people. These niggas are an obstacle. You want to fix the community? You got to fix your bitch. You want to fix your bitch? These niggas are going to be a problem. Just like the bitches are going to be a problem dealing with the black community. Now, see, Olawinde and them, they'll agree with that. But see, their definition of fixing it is kissing the black woman's ass hard enough to infinity and beyond. Not actually getting on the same page and on the same standard and making the women either bow down to the standard or we fucking deal with the women that want to cooperate. We overinvest in the females that want to cooperate. We import what we need to. Which is why I'm the main one that brought up intercultural dating. And like I said, I'm shouting out a black woman talking about this. As far as Pink Book's video, it's concise, not a lot of fluff, 5 minutes, because I thought it'd be short, but she covered a lot. And I verified the shit she was saying before I went live. But two things I want to highlight is, number one, she didn't shoot him once in the head. She actually shot him like she hit him with a belt. That is like one of the most cruel and evil shit you can do. And you know what the truth is? The truth is white people and black people probably get angrier about Michael Vick's dogs than they will get about that black boy. That's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation, that's the reality of the situation. Y'all will get angrier about a white cop killing a black dude that may have a criminal record than y'all will about what this woman did to this little boy. I'm sorry, I gotta do it for the conservatives. Shout out to Fantastic. I gotta do it. Gotta put that out there. I gotta do it. It's better me do it than them. Shout out to Lil Big Nate, even Trey. Some of y'all, I know, some of y'all will probably have more feelings about a white cop doing that than a black bitch doing what she did. And let's assume she mentally ill. I don't give no fucks. And I've dealt with mental illness as far as people in my family, as far as me understanding what that is. And I would say the same thing. We just got done dealing with Dre not cutting his daughter off and then her struggling, right? And then what's going to talk about, you don't leave your daughter like that. And I said, if your daughter killed your kid, your son, your grandkids, would you forgive? Frank's like, well, yeah, I got to stand on what I'm going to stand on. That's how shit like that happens. Shout out to Deshaun Watson. Black women are the Joker. Black men, Batman, black men. Can't put them in check. Well, black men have no chance of putting them in check if you got this huge buffer of Negroes that don't believe that there's nothing a black female could do to not be forgiven. I'm not even telling you what it should be. I'm asking you the extreme. Do you think this woman should be forgiven? Hell, do you think the black man should be forgiven for even saying that? I didn't see the pinned comment. I gotta go check that out. Well, even if I'm not gonna say all that flip cool, but even let's say I did agree with what you're talking about. You are dealing with a group of men, and David Carroll was really going off on his rabbit hole today as far as how dumb black men are. You're dealing with a group of men that they psychologically they black out. They black out when it comes to even looking at holding black women accountable. They mentally cannot do it. The truth is, black men are a lot more likely to hold white women accountable to shit than they are black women. I'm not even going to address that, CJ. No, I understand what Flip Cool said, but the problem is, even if I go with what you're talking about, do you realize that black men you will have to go through black men to do what the fuck you talking about doing? Because there are there are black men out there that will sit there and say that she should be protected. She should get a trial. You do realize that, right? So when I talk about the gynocracy, y'all really be thinking I be talking about just women, and that's just my little sideways way of bashing women. No, these niggas just as cooked in. That's the main thing I want to talk about. Other people gonna talk about what she did. I want to talk about the fact that he said she's still a good mom. That's and keep in mind that was his son. His son. 12 years invested. 12 years invested. She's still a good mom. Knowing what she did, he said that. With a straight face. And by the way, we can argue. I definitely can accept that black women are programming these dudes is on them. But once you start to get north of 30 years old, we're going to give a good fine cutoff line. I don't want to hear that. It ain't no black female's fault that you that cooked in to black women like that. At that point, that's a choice you're actively making. Dude, he didn't have to expose her. He didn't have, nigga, there's such a thing called no comment. There's a way to say things without saying she's a good mom. What are you exposing? See, that's the mentality right there. That's the thought process. I don't want to expose her. She killed. Okay, let me flip this shit. Let me flip this shit in a way that you can understand. Let me flip this shit in a way you can understand. And I'm gonna say this. I'm going here. I'm going here. This is fucked up. I know. I gotta say it. If that would have been a little girl, if that would have been his daughter, you think he'd say the same shit? If that would have been his daughter, do you believe that he would have said the same shit? Do you believe this would be covered the same way if that would have been a girl? Even, and I'm not, let's not flip it and say a black man to a girl. No. Let's just say if that was that mom and that was a black girl, you think it would be covered the same way? Okay, maybe I'm reading it wrong. I get what you're saying, JC, but I'm not saying that's what you would do. I know that's not what you would do. I'm talking about you sitting there putting your saying if the dude like you trying to understand the dumb shit that a dude would do that you wouldn't do and the why. I get that. I know I'm not saying that's what you would do, but I'm saying that that's what's in their mind. And if it would have been a girl, it wouldn't be that way. Cause mentally, black men don't think that way. They black out. And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these dudes that talk about protecting their daughters, these niggas are capping. No, you not. Y'all protect your daughters against males. But against females, y'all don't believe in protecting your daughters. I'm going to tell you, y'all don't protect your daughters against this social media that's mentally raping them. Telling them, they just, if you to go into Bing, they just had a study saying that Instagram, saying officially what we all know, Instagram harms teens. We know this. Your daughters are being mentally told they're not good enough. They need to get mutilated physically. Titties, ass, lips, every day, over. You're not protecting them from that. You're not protecting them from this television, telling them they too dark and all this bullshit. Y'all not protecting them from that. I don't give a fuck if they in your house. You ain't protecting them for all these little hoe ass, fast ass little bitches that basically they get off on turning your daughter out. That they going to school with. They put pressure on them to fuck early. Middle school. These little hoes that get them set up for running on trains, that's they friend. Y'all not protecting them from this? No, y'all eyes are focused on one group. Y'all eyes are focused on dudes. Everybody's focused on dudes. Nobody's focused on the women. And it ain't about, oh, well, the women need to get work too. No, the issue is that's where the bullshit is. And guess the fuck what? That's where the vulnerability is. And when evil shit is going to find a way to do evil shit. And because that's the nature of what evil is. Just like the state wasn't looking at this chick. Just like, and I told y'all about the lead attorney being a guardian ad litem. I told you all about the shit that he's probably seen. I've been in that since. I know what that is. These motherfuckers, when they don't get their way, you got adults turning into children throwing tantrums. And somebody go pay. And there's a lot of kids. Yeah, I am snapping with my finger. I'm driving it home. No, I'm not snapping like my neck like some shit. I'm snapping literally right there to let y'all know. So when I hear these niggas talk about protection, what we need to do as men, I know they full of shit. Because none of that shit involves, everything they talking about does not involve bringing a woman into that. It's basically you doing everything you can and you hoping that woman will decide to get some act right about her. That's the truth. And that's why when motherfuckers try to have a little pro-black throw-up sessions where they wanna empty out all of this bullshit, I'm like, yo, that's some shit you done convinced yourself. We know black men ain't protected. But fuck, we talk about what about these boys though? Shout out to Justin Mark for the $5. We know these boys can't, these women that ain't even fucked up, they can't even teach their boys, their sons to read. They just there. And they talk about, oh, well, black boys get coddled. Black boys get coddled because black boys are like fucking teddy bears to a lot of black women. Black boys is a thing designed to emotionally fulfill them. If they're not doing that, they should not exist in the eyes of a lot of black women. Now, are they going? That may take a couple of emotional unhooks, like mental issues, in order for them to do what this woman did. But there's a lot of women that feel that way because women are not built to be single mothers. They're really not. No, they don't. They really don't. And these are the same boys that they want to save their fucking mama and blame their daddy because that's how black men cope with that shit. That's how black men cope with that shit. And you hear it all the time when they want to come in here and come at that bullshit. See, this is the reality of the shit they don't want to go to. Shout out Justin Marks, another $5. Appreciate that. Shout out to Dejan. Yeah, shout out to, let me see, what, because I got like 3 super chats, it seems like. That's the truth. Shout out to Smurgo. Did anyone check to make sure the mother is mentally okay after all this? This has to be hard on her emotionally and mentally. Smurgo, if that was anybody else, I'd probably want to rant, but I know you trolling. I know it's you, so. You know, since Smurgo want to put a $5, Smurgo figured it out. Actually, Smurgo knows the answer to the question. What do black women got to do in order to not be forgiven? Simple. Give up the kid. No, we know Smurgo's joking. If that was anybody else, I wouldn't know, but I know Smurgo's joking. Smurgo knows the answer. You know what the answer is? Give up your kids. If you give up your kids, you're considered a bad mom. You could pop your son. You could basically shoot your son with a bullet, let him bleed and feel it, then pop him in the head and still be considered a good mom. But you know what them niggas said? Shout out to Smurgo. You know what them niggas said on that Facebook group though? You know what them niggas said? Them niggas said I couldn't even look at a woman that would give up their son to the father. Smirgo found it out. Now, how many Facebook posts you think go spread of what this woman did to this boy? How many of these niggas gonna have this outrage? Hell yeah, I'm gonna keep bringing that back up because that showed what a lot of black men out here think. A lot of black men lost their mind on what Smargo said. Oh, I can't imagine a woman giving up kids. But the daddy of that son said she was a great mom. But no, I'm just making this shit up. I'm just a nigga on YouTube. Anyway, I'ma leave that there. I'ma leave that for y'all to marinate on. Marinate on that shit. Like I said, I ain't got kids. So, I know dudes with kids are gonna feel this a different type of way. Oh, the manosphere gonna talk about it, especially as it starts to gain more juice. The manosphere is gonna talk about it, but that ain't for me. I said what I had to say. Make sure y'all support the Cash App, the PayPal. I appreciate the donations from the black men and black women. And like I said, there's a reason why I say ADOS. There's a reason why I say that. So I'm gonna leave y'all be. I know the lead attorney is on. There's a couple of people on. And so, yeah. So with that being said, this is Edward signing off.